To talk to you guys directly this evening about a topic very dear to me, that is the Super Mario Brothers franchise. And since today's theme is green, I will of course be speaking to you about gaming's most famous sidekick, Luigi. Now first, a little bit about myself. I've been a huge Super Mario Brothers fan for as long as I can remember. And actually, at the age of 5, when I realized that Mario and Nintendo came from Japan, I started to study Japanese. Been a huge influence on my life and one of the reasons I wanted to move here. And it's not just me. The Super Mario Brothers franchise is emblematic of Japan's ever-growing soft power overseas. In fact, one could make the argument that if Citizen Kane took place in the modern 21st century, that Orson Welles' last words would be Mario rather than Rosebud. So what exactly is Mario Brothers? Well, it's a series of video games made by Nintendo. It dates back to the 1981 arcade game Donkey Kong, and since then, through a variety of series like Mario Brothers, Mario Kart, Mario Party, just to name a few, it's gone on to sell over 250 million games around the world. It is unequivocally the most successful video game franchise ever. And Luigi has been an integral part of this franchise for the past 30 years. 2013 marks Luigi's 30th anniversary of appearing in Mario games, and Nintendo's actually dubbed this year the Year of Luigi, and has featured him in many promotions and upcoming games. Here you can see Luigi. He's got his trademark green hat, green shirt. He's slightly more slender than Mario, taller than Mario. He's actually the younger of the two Mario brothers. And actually, if you look closely, Luigi actually has no chin, one of the rules of the character. And here you can see, trace back over the past 30 years, the evolutions that Luigi has made throughout video game history. His earliest trademark that's always been a constant for the past 30 years is his green color. Now, the Super Mario Brothers franchise was created by Mr. Shigeru Miyamoto. Mr. Miyamoto joined Nintendo in 1977, and he's created gaming's most beloved franchises. These include The Legend of Zelda, Mario, Star Fox, Donkey Kong, and he was even a producer on a little-known game known as Pokemon. His influence around the world has been cultural as well as commercial, and video game industry owes him a huge debt. Now, here's some famous portrayals of Luigi. We have Danny Welch from the American TV show, John Leguizamo from the ill-fated 1993 live-action movie, Hiroyuki Abe in some commercials, and Charles Martinet, who's voiced the character since 1997. So where does the name Luigi come from? Well, there's two theories about this. One theory being that since the name Mario came from Nintendo of America's landlord, that the name Luigi came from a nearby pizzeria that Nintendo of America employees frequented back in the day. Unfortunately, there's no proof this restaurant ever existed. Another theory being that the name Luigi is actually based on the Japanese word of Luigi, which means similar to or bearing a resemblance to. And this makes sense in context when you consider that Luigi was originally what's known in video game terminology as a palette swap. Now, a palette swap is simply when one character is identical to another character in the game, the only difference being how they appear on the game screen. In the case of Luigi, early video game hardware technology, the only way to have a second character appear on the screen was not to draw him, but to just change the color. So you can see with Mario, they just changed Mario's color around, and Luigi was born. Now, Luigi was first introduced in the 1983 arcade game, Mario Brothers, simply because Mr. Miyamoto wanted to make a Mario game that two people could enjoy simultaneously. And they went with the green color to help differentiate between Mario and Luigi. So if two people were playing, they'd never be confused as to who was who. Now, Luigi remained a palette swap of Mario until the Japanese release of Super Mario Bros. 2. This is the Japanese release I'm talking about, not the American one. Now, in this game, while he still appeared identical to Mario, his first unique characteristic was born. That was of his unique jumping ability. Now, this is a characteristic that's gone on through the past 30 years. It's been mentioned in both the Japanese and American version of Super Mario Bros. 2, and was featured in more recent games like Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario 3D Land, and revised versions of older games. Now, Luigi has a couple defining characteristics to him. One being is that, for whatever reason, he's never able to stand out in a crowd. He always kind of blends into the background. And he's never really given the credit that he may or may not be due. And Nintendo's had some fun with this over the past couple years and kind of played a veritable "Where's Luigi?" on the cover of some more recent titles. Can you see him here? Mario Party 9 is pretty terrible, yeah. And his other defining trait that most famous for is that he is a big crybaby. But this helps to make him more human to us, the player. Whereas we as human beings may marvel at Mario's superhuman feats of strength, Luigi is perfectly capable of doing the same things, but he has the added human element of fear and hesitation. He's never really willing to accept the challenges laid out in front of him. And this is something that we can identify with when we play the game. Luigi does things like when he's scared, he starts singing or humming, and he'll call out for his older brother. And this helped to enrich the character. One of the designers on the most recent game starring Luigi has said that Luigi's wider range of emotions as compared to Mario gave them greater artistic freedom when developing the game. Whereas Mario is the very archetypical hero, Luigi can be sad, he can be jealous, he can be scared. Now, since Luigi was literally born as a shadow of Mario, there's this added other element of a sibling rivalry, an unspoken sibling rivalry. Whereas Mario is simply content with being the hero of the day, rescuing the princess, and defeating the bad guy, Luigi has this added element of wanting to escape the shadow of his brother and step out on his own. And be recognized for the feats that he may or may not be due. Well, that's about it. I've had so much fun making this presentation. I'd like to thank everybody who invited me to do this. If you guys enjoyed half of much as I did creating this, I hope it'll be great. So thank you very much, and I hope you guys enjoy Mario games in the future.